All right, everybody, welcome to One Mel of the Podcast. I am your hostess, Mel, and today we have a great author interview going on. Everybody, welcome Sam.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing, Sam?
Hi. I'm having a wonderful day. How are you?
I'm good. I just spent the last half hour laughing my ass off on my Twitter post.
Was it the bathroom one?
Yes, all the responses were just great. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's where I had my horror memory of the bat in the toilet.
I know. I did reply. I said, I'm going to tell you right now, you did not pee on a dead bat. Just no. There cannot be.
That's Sandora's box. Is it in there or is it out?
Right. Exactly. There you go. Oh
Drama.
My goodness. That was just hilarious. I mean, and I think about these things because I watched a movie last night where they just walked right in the bathroom and sat down to pee, and I'm like, how do people do that in the dark? I get freaked out.
I didn't, but now I do.
I bet. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's worse, a dead bat in the toilet or a dead mouse in the utensil drawer.
Oh, both were pretty traumatic.
Yeah, I can imagine. You're out in the country?
I am. I live on a farm.
Oh.
I had a bird farm. Most of our birds were recently in a triple homicide from a raccoon and a fox.
Oh.
But we get more birds regularly. Chicken eggs, duck eggs, turkey eggs.
Wow, that's awesome. But I love raccoons and foxes. Dang it, guys.
Yeah, they want the eggs too. I understand. We make some pretty great eggs here.
Yeah, it's natural.
All farm fresh.
Yes, exactly. So I should have introduced you as Sam Verba. Is that correct pronunciation?
Yes.
Perfect.
Samantha Verba.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you get into writing?
I got into writing when I was probably about 10 years old, which I hate to directly correlate with when I started to get bullied in middle school.
Oh.
It was a very good escape for me, and then it would have a segue of conversation for my best friend, or my now best friend, who I've known since first grade, because she wanted to read everything I wrote, and she is to this day reads everything I write. So I got, positive out of it.
Oh, that's very cool. But yeah, damn bullies. I used to beat them up. I hate bullies.
I was too afraid to do that part.
Well, I was too until I hit 9th grade, and then I learned the art of intimidation. So.
Ooh. I discovered that when I was 22 and started going to bars and had to develop a lot thicker of a skin.
Oh, I know, right? Damn, boy, don't buy me no more drinks. I'm going to kick your ass. Hey, Bubba. Oh. So, did you ever consider using a pen name?
I did. I originally wanted to use the name Vera Volkov because that is my boyfriend's last name. But then I fell in love with that name, and now we want to save it in case we have a daughter one day.
Oh, yeah. That's a very romantic...
She just sounds like a spunky little girl. Vera
Yes. Very inspirational name. That's what I'm trying to think of. Very inspirational name.
I feel like she would have to be like the CEO of some, like, we're going to save the planet type company. Here's how, and this is how we're going to execute it. Like, she's just going to be a powerhouse, and I don't want to take that away from any future generations.
Oh, no, that's awesome. I love that name.
I stuck with my own name, Samantha Verba.
Very cool. Well, let's see. So we're going to go down the list here. What do you hope your reader gains from your books?
The biggest thing I would hope is what I gained from books when I was younger, which is relatability. I didn't want anyone to feel, or I should say, I never liked feeling alone when I was younger. So I hope that when anybody reads my book, they don't feel alone, that they could relate to the main character, Ellie. It is told from her perspective. She's 18. She's a reimagined version of myself when I was 18. So she's a little bit awful, but it's forgivable, as I hope that I was.
Oh my gosh, right? Well, that's the thing. I love relatable characters.
It really makes you feel like, at least I'm not the only one that has this weird quirk, or I'm not the only one that thinks this way.
Exactly.
I feel like that helps people get lost in stories.
That's exactly how I feel. I want them to be able to learn something from it, that, you are strong. Go out there and kick.
Exactly. You can get through this.
Yeah, kick some Yes, go for it.
No matter how weird the situation may be, you will get through it.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, that's a good thing to hope people get from your book. That's
Exactly.
that's what I strive for too.
Especially because there's so many different things anybody can relate to.
So, your book just came out.
Yes.
What is the title?
Can't Wait to Be Dead.
Awesome title. I love that title.
Oh, thank you. I actually, it's from a song by Phineas, also called Can't Wait to Be Dead.
Oh.
He is mentioned in my book multiple times. Shout out.
There you go. Gotta have a shout out. Perfect. Have you gotten any reviews for it yet?
I've gotten reviews from a few people on Twitter that are reading it. Thankfully, everything's been pretty cool so far. I'm gulping down and dreading the day or I see something negative, but that comes with the territory of releasing something you wrote out into the world.
Exactly.
Not everybody's gonna like it. My grandma actually texted me today saying she's on chapter 17 and she's loving it so far, so it's grandma approved.
Go grandma.
She is 75,
Dang.
I think. And I know a couple of her friends from the senior center also bought the book. They're very excited to read it as well.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I love it. I love it.
There's just something about like a bunch of women at a senior center buying a book called Can't Wait to Be Dead that just makes me cackle in the back of my mind.
You need to go in and get a picture of them all reading, sitting around in a circle reading it. And I mean, I don't know, talk about great promo.
I would die. I'd have to go and ask my grandma if I can do that.
That would be hilarious. Oh my goodness. And you could even put in there grandma approved. I mean, come on, market that.
Exactly. Who's not going to love it?
Exactly. If grandma loves it, you'll love it. Come on. There's your marketing.
Grandmas are pretty harsh critics.
Yeah, they are.
They'll tell you like it is without question.
You're too fat. You're too skinny. Why don't you have a man? Where are my great-grandchildren? What is wrong with
that conversation this past holiday season?
Oh my goodness, right?
I'm working on it, Grandma.
It takes time.
It really does.
So when you get a negative review, how do you think you're going to handle it?
I'm hoping, because I used to be way more confident in college before early 20s happened, and I'm getting back to that confidence again.
Okay.
And in college, we had peer reviews, because I have a writing degree. I did go to writing classes, and we did have big groups where we would all switch stories and learn how to critique each other and learn how to take a negative critique on the chin and keep on moving.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what kind of negative review. If someone's just like, I don't like it, well, then that's not constructive or helpful in any way. But at least if you're going to be negative about it, tell me why. Why didn't you like it? What would you have done differently? How could I improve whatever it is that you didn't like next time? And if I don't agree with them, I can always just say, fuck it, I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's kind of sad because I remember, I worked with a lot of newbie indie authors and everything over the years. And the biggest thing was the negative review made a lot of people stop writing. It was a kick in the teeth to them. And it's like, guys, you got to have a thicker skin. I mean, and I was that way myself.
Well, yeah, it's like it's your baby and someone just called your baby ugly.
Yeah, that's it right there. And, you're like curled up in the corner crying, sucking your thumb because somebody was mean to you or your story. I mean, but it's important for writers to know that there are ways to deal with it. Get a thicker skin. Don't take it so bad.
Don't read all of the comments. Just wait till people send you comments.
Yeah, there you go. And that's why I asked this question in the interviews, because everybody's got a different answer, and something's going to help somebody out there.
I had a few people before I finished book 1 tell me, because this is going to be a 3-book series, that asked me if I would continue writing, even if like the first one wasn't done very well or like received very well by anybody. And I told everybody, I keep saying roughly the same thing, as I write for my best friend, and as long as she wants to keep reading it, I'm going to finish all 3 books, even if she's the only one that loves it and wants more.
Good deal. Keep writing. Don't let anything stop you.
Yeah, don't let anybody stop you. I had so much fun with the first one, so I'm going to have more fun with the second one.
And it is fun. I mean, it's nerve-wracking as hell, but it's fun.
The nerve-wracking part comes like when you're done, so enjoy it while you're not done yet.
Yeah, that's true. So did you have a celebration ritual when you got done with the first book?
I bought Chinese food.
There you go. Food works.
And then when we published it, I got more Chinese food, and then, or when I should say, when I published it with Draft to Digital before it actually came out. So there was 3 bouts of Chinese food: the finishing of the writing, the finishing of the editing and publishing, and then the official release.
Awesome. Hey, those are big milestones.
It's like, how can I not have General Chow's chicken when I'm so happy?
Exactly. Do what works for you. It's awesome.
Oh, and sobbing, of course. I sob every time. Can't stop. Don't know why. Everything makes me cry.
Well, like you said, it's like having a baby. I mean, we get emotional. What the hell?
That's what the lo mein's for. You sob right into the noodles, and then you use the General Tso's chicken sauce to smooth it all out.
That's right. Then you go on to the chocolate chip ice cream, cookie dough, whatever.
Yes. Or deep fried cheesecake if you're at a restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, I'm glad I don't live near you because I'm already hefty girl, so I don't want to be more.
I work in a bakery, so I'm just used to it.
I know. I'd be like there every day saying, Sam, make me something, please.
We did pumpkin and cream cheese icing sandwiches, like with these cake cookies. It's kind of like a whoopie pie. It was so good last week. I shouldn't be eating everything I make.
Well, you do gotta taste it, so it's all good.
Exactly.
Those calories don't count.
Those are invisible.
Okay, so you mentioned Draft to Digital. So
Yes.
you're self-published.
I am.
Did you think about going the traditional route?
I want to after I establish myself.
Oh.
I've taken it upon myself to market myself, to discover my own audience, and get a fan base of sorts before I approach a publishing company with my next chunk of works, because rumor has it on the internet a lot of publishing companies aren't taking on people that they have nothing behind their name because of COVID and because everybody's trying to publish something here or there. So
Yeah.
this one's just for fun, and hopefully people love it, and maybe next time I'll do it the traditional way.
That'd be good. But yeah, traditional publishers are getting a lot more strict, but they have to compete now with the indie author. And I swear, everybody gives the indie author a bad name, but it's not a bad thing. When
I
you
don't think so.
No,
I
it's
got some
not.
books off of Twitter, people. I'm really excited to read them.
Oh yeah. I mean, the market's a little saturated for a lot of things, but you can always find a good one out there somewhere.
Absolutely. I've read, what was it? Guy who wrote, I'm so bad at remembering authors' names. Don't be mad at me. The guy who wrote the book The Martian apparently was originally just like self-publishing on his website.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
he got approached by a publisher or something.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
I was like, what? That was a thing? He was like, I was working in an IT booth and I got a phone call one day on my lunch break or something in an interview I read that he did. And I was like, wow, that makes me not want to traditionally publish this first book at all.
Yeah, yeah. But that's kind of a good move is to get your name out there, get established, and then, go from there.
Be like, look at this 3-book series I wrote that I sold A, B, C amount of copies for.
Exactly. And look at the reviews. Don't look at the negative ones. Look at the reviews.
Grandma approves it, so you should too.
That's
Scholastic
right.
books.
That's right. All right, so my favorite question to ask is, are you a plotter or a pantser?
I wrote a note down just for this specifically that just says yes. I always start with an image in my head of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I've written anything, it's always started with some weird banter in my head, and then I evolve a scene around it while I'm in the middle of writing it out. So removing it from my head, type that out, and then I end up with like 12 to 20 pages around like 5 sentences I thought were funny in my head. So I'm not 100% sure what I am.
Nope, that's good. There is a thing as a, what do they call it? A pantser. Or, yeah, a plotzer. It's a combination of a plotter and a pantser, so.
Oh. I also know I
has,
never know what my characters are going to do. They usually tell me what's going on halfway through a scene. I found out my one character had a sister magically one day in the middle of a scene.
yeah,
I was like, oh, guess we gotta include her now.
Why do you think I call them divas? Because damn it, they're always changing my story. It's like,
They
okay.
really are.
Ugh.
Unexpectedly.
Yep, never fails. 3 a.m. and they're telling me, oh, hey, by the way. I'm like, yeah, no, you're going to wait till morning. So that's how you get your story ideas. There's a conversation in your head.
Always. Almost every single time. It's just something. It's arguing with myself almost always.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'll hear a line that somebody says while walking past me in public, and then I create what that whole conversation was around, like 4 words somebody muttered to somebody that wasn't me.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
music. Always music. Always listening to music. That helps a lot with creating different fun little worlds and people.
Yes, yes, it does. I don't know. There are so many times that music has inspired me to write something, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's like, how can you not when so much emotion goes even into just instrumental music, especially I've learned with this book. I never listened to instrumental music, and now I love instrumental music.
Oh, yeah. And it's so funny because I'll go on YouTube and I'll just plug something in and just to listen while I'm writing. And all of a
That's
sudden,
my kryptonite.
oh, yeah, yeah, it is. It can be. But I just sit there and all of a sudden I'm like, it's matching the scene that I'm writing.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, this can't be, better synchronicity than, ooh, it's like the angels opened up the doors of heaven and went, oh,
We brought this for you.
Yes. Ta-da, the muse is blessing you. How's that? There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Muse music, I get it.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't even think of that. Good one.
Don't mind me.
There we go. Brought to you by Samantha Verba. So how do you overcome writer's block?
That one's a little bit harder because I'm a very strict, disciplined person with myself when I'm actually in the thick of a writing project.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I make myself write 1,000 words, even if they're absolute garbage, because I believe I can always edit bad writing, but I can't edit a blank page. So even if I have like 7 to 10 chapters that I've cut from my book just because they didn't fit anything else other than I want to see how these 2 characters would react in this scene. But it got me to know my characters better, which ended up pushing through future writer's blocks, garbage scenes that get thrown away that actually help at the same time.
Yeah.
That's how you get through writer's block.
Well, a lot of people say just sit down and write something, and
It's very helpful.
it is. I will go find flash fiction. I'll write flash fiction. So I won't find flash fiction. I write it, but I'll get a picture off
Little writing prompts.
Yeah, writing prompts, or I go look at fantasy art because fantasy's my first love, and I'll write a story for it. And I have a whole bunch of that, and I really should put that back up on my blog. But yeah, I mean, and it's fun. I mean, and it helps get the block away, because a lot of it I think
is going.
Yeah, I think a lot of writer's block is a little bit of fear.
Oh, 100%. That's
Fear
the
of finishing.
imposter syndrome.
Yeah, that and the fear of finishing.
Or I used to call them Frankenstein freakouts.
Oh.
I would just stare at my computer and stare at my hands. These hands aren't meant to create, they're only meant to destroy.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I'm going to use that from now on.
You gotta talk yourself off that ledge before you just dive down a rabbit hole of never coming back to your story.
I could totally see us being best friends if we lived close together. That's funny.
Aren't you on the West Coast?
Yeah, I'm in Oregon.
That's right, yeah. I'm all the way on the East Coast.
Yeah.
We can still be internet friends.
We will. We'll be Twitter besties. There we go.
Yay! I think you were my first people on Twitter that I started talking to.
I think so. I know you're one of the first people I followed and followed back or whatever. Yeah.
I know my weird Twitter journey has been terrifyingly large in the last 2 months. I had 300 followers, and then I woke up and had over 2,000, and I'm I don't know how this happened.
Oh, but that's awesome.
Now I'm almost at 5, and I'm who are all you people?
Yeah. Oh, but it's great. I mean, you're getting a good following there, and that's important.
At least everybody buys one copy of my book.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because I was just, that's one of our next questions was how do you use social media for as an author?
I'm obnoxious online and hope that it works out.
There you go.
I do share a lot. I do try to interact a lot with as many people as possible, and I enjoy it. I enjoy talking to everybody. I enjoy reading everybody else's book ideas or hearing people succeed that we're submitting and querying. Is that how you say that word?
Yeah.
I've
Yep.
never done that, so I've been watching other people do it, and it's very terrifying.
It is. It kind of is. I did the querying process and tried to come up with my stuff for that. And man, it's a little daunting and overwhelming. And I had to just stop because I was like, I don't know how
Sounds
to do
bad
this.
for your mental health.
That, but it's also, I mean, you got to make sure that you research everybody you're querying to know that this is exactly what they want. Otherwise, they send you the mean, nasty email saying, "Why did you send this? Because I don't even deal with this." You know?
Ooh.
Yeah, it can get pretty
Ugh.
harsh, and I mean, that's a totally different thick skin that you have to have.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not ready for that yet.
Right. I mean, I've seen people post on Twitter, they're like, okay, got my rejection, but God, did they have to be so mean? And I'm like,
Right?
yeah, I get that.
Just say no thank you and move on. Like, why do you have to be a jerk about it?
Right, right. One of these days, I hope to get some agent interviews on here just to kind of
Oh, I would love to hear what those people have to say because
Yeah,
I'm so afraid of them.
I
Get to know your.
know. They're like the.
Not that they're my enemy.
Well, it's funny though because here you are as the writer, and the traditional publisher you want is the castle, and they're the freaking sharks in the moat. Okay.
They're the barrels that Donkey Kongs are hurling at you.
Yeah. Exactly. That's it right there. And
Let me
it's
tell you, I'm not good at that game.
no. It's like you walked into a PvP arena on World of Warcraft and they just slayed you. You know, it's like ah.
I'm
So
scared.
yeah,
That'll be next year's obstacle.
right.
This year was Write Book 1.
Yes, and that is very important. Very important. So how did you come up with the story idea for Can't Wait to Be Dead?
This is hilarious because the original first idea I had for it is nothing like what it turned out to be.
Of course.
But I thought of it the first time I heard the song Shivers by Ed Sheeran
Oh,
while driving to work one day.
see, again, music inspires.
There was just like something about like the beat or like the sound that that song has in the background that
Yeah.
was very cat and mouse. It was very the witty banter you find in like rom-coms.
Yes.
And that's what started, as I mentioned earlier, it always had something with a conversation, a bickering back and forth with myself that turns into a story. And that, I don't know how to describe it. It was like big vibe, the mood of that song. I was just like, how do I bring this to life in a different way than obviously Ed Sheeran's lyrics?
Right? That's awesome. That is very cool. I love that.
It was a very fun 2 months of me listening to that song religiously.
Probably got to the point where you had to have headphones on because you were driving everybody batshit crazy.
Oh, 100%. I know my boyfriend was like, can we listen to anybody else? And I was like, no.
No.
This is the Ed Sheeran channel, and we only listen to one jam. And I do mention him in my book, too. I'm waiting for that cease and desist letter one day. I'm going to frame it.
Oh,
100% will remove him if his publicist is like, we don't want to be associated with this project.
exactly.
But he is in there.
I never thought of that. Oh, I want a cease and desist order now.
How fun of marketing would that be to post? Be like, Ed Sheeran's whole marketing crew said, I'm not allowed to mention him in my vampire book. This book right here, link in the bio.
That would be great. I would love that.
It's like a whole new outreach that I can't even imagine. I'm like, I will take your name out of my book 100 times over if that means I can post this letter online.
I know. Hey, marketing strategy. There you go.
Gotta fake it till you make it, baby.
That's right. There you go. Okay, so did you base any characters off of people you know personally?
All the characters in my story are fictitious, and no. Ellie is an exaggerated version of myself. She's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
It is told from her perspective, as well as my little vampire boy, Harker. He is a male version of myself, as I say. If I were to be a 19-year-old boy back when I was an 18-year-old girl, he would have been it.
Yeah.
It was just ideal. I love everything I've put into him because I love Ellie as myself. She's, as I mentioned before, also she's a little bit annoying sometimes and aggravating. And watching him deal with those episodes were also inspired by a couple of ex-boyfriends dealing with my episodes.
Oh. This is so great. I love it.
And only one of them knows that some of Harker's, like his mannerisms, the way I have like described him doing certain stuff, are directly from this one person that I'm friends with, who I'm going to leave nameless as he asked me to.
Okay.
But he knows. He's excited to read it. I'm about to send him his copy of the book tomorrow.
Oh, good.
And he's worried and excited about which parts of his personality I took.
That's awesome. That is hilarious. Yeah, be worried about the worst parts. I'm kidding.
No negatives, I promise.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I mean, other people might think they're negative, but I don't think they're negative.
Which part of the book was the best part to write, and which was the worst part to write?
I took a lot of time trying to figure out the answer to this question for like 2 weeks now. And I'm going to start with the worst. The worst part was chapter 25, and it's called The Dead Dad Dilemma. And it has, the two characters are going on a hike.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I love that chapter because you learn a lot about them, I reread it and wrote it so many times that I wanted to light it on fire. And it was like reliving a moment that I kind of experienced, like the conversation-wise anyway,
Mm-hmm.
where Ellie is actively trying to avoid answering questions about her own dead dad, and that's not a spoiler. You find that out on like page 2.
Okay.
But yeah, that part was just, I don't know why. I think it's because it's the longest chapter in my book. I like to keep my chapters pretty short.
Mm-hmm.
My attention span is also pretty short, so that's why I like to have 3 to 5 to 10 page chapters, and that one's like probably 30 pages long, and it's the longest one in the book. But the best one is the ending. I love the ending. I wrote it 3 times, and I had to put them all in a row because there was 3 different routes, like a choose your own ending type way that the book could have gone, but I knew I had to pick one because then one of them's got to transition into book 2, and until I figured out where I wanted book 2 to go, I couldn't pick which ending I liked the best, but I love the one I picked, and I still have the other 2 on my computer that I might utilize in the future.
Yeah. You know, it would be cool.
The ending I thought of first.
I hear that a lot. You know, I thought of the ending first. I think of the middle first, and I kind of work around it.
Really? I don't know if I've ever talked to anybody that thinks of the middle first.
Yeah, I mean, I think of the middle first, and then I'm trying to figure out a way to open it up and hook you. You know?
Ooh.
And I already
That's very fair.
I kind of have a way of, I know how it's going to end, but the middle, yeah, I got the middle solid, so.
I don't even think the ending I picked was the one that I originally thought of during that Ed Sheeran song phase.
Mm-hmm. But you know what would be cool is if you reach a certain amount of followers, and people, if they tweet you, not Twitter you, if they tweet you with a hashtag, you could celebrate by releasing one of your alternate endings and see what they like.
Ooh, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's a good ploy. That's a good ploy.
Yeah.
Like a prize.
Yes.
It's like, here, you've earned it.
You did. You earned it. And the fact that you had 3 different endings, like, and by the way, I love choose your own adventure. Come on. D&D.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah.
I'm sure Ellie would have wanted to choose her own adventure, and I think the one she picked probably was wrong. I wanted to say, what was it? I can't remember. For also chapters and endings and best parts to write, I do want to at some point release a chapter that I did cut out where my
Oh.
main character does get attacked by a bear in the woods. And I had so much fun writing it. I was devastated when I realized I couldn't fit it into the final book.
Uh, right? But those are the ones that you keep for future use somehow. You got to figure it out.
Exactly. I have to do something with it because it was so much fun to write.
Yeah, exactly. I have a lot of
Who doesn't
those.
wanna get attacked by a bear in the Pennsylvania wilderness?
Ah, right? Okay, so you say that Ellie is 18. So who's your target audience for this book?
I do have it listed for 16 and up, so I think that's technically a YA novel.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The title might make some parents upset, but my mom didn't seem to care about what music I was listening to or what I was reading at that age, as long as I didn't get in trouble.
Right.
So,
Right. I
I hope
remember
it goes that way for everybody else.
I remember my brother coming home from high school one day with a book that he had to read for class, and it said, "I know why the mockingbird sings," or I know why the caged bird sings. That's what it was.
I know that from whatever it is you're talking about.
Yeah, I know why the caged bird sings, and I looked at that title and I'm like, what the hell?
Why is there a cage involved?
I know. I was like, And then To Kill a Mockingbird. So I had the two mixed up there. But To Kill a Mockingbird, that was another one he brought home. And I'm like, what are they making you read in school?
I read a book called I Am Not a Serial Killer a couple years ago.
Oh,
And that main character was like 17 or 18 years old. Maybe he was 15. I know he was a teenager. And that made me feel like my book title was okay.
oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Well, hey, let's see, it was a middle grade, I think. I read this in school by choice, by the way. My brother Sam is dead. So,
Ooh.
but
I
that
feel like
was,
that before.
yeah, it was about the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so you can't go off of titles, and here we are. We're giving all of you guys shout outs, okay? Just letting you know. Everybody, you get a shout out. You get a shout out.
There's so many references in my book. It wouldn't be hurtful to have all these references in the interview.
I know, right? That's awesome. How much did your story change from the first draft?
A whole bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I originally wanted it to be a standalone book, and now it's going to be 3. The age of the characters were also going to be like college to early 20s, and now they're 18.
Yeah.
And I don't think half the characters that are currently in the book were in the original cut either. And then I was
Wow.
like, well, I can't just have these 4 people on this farm the whole time. Something else has to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, the book does take place primarily on a farm.
Well, write what you know, right?
Vampires on farms. I
Yes.
haven't read one like that before, so I figured why not do it myself?
Great way to herd the cattle, just saying.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. All right, so you've already said grandma approved. I'm
Yes.
very sure I know who your favorite characters are. Okay, so who do you
Parker.
see? Yeah. So who do you see
My little baby.
Who do you see playing your characters if this was made into a movie? I have yet
I
to
thought a
ask
lot
that
about
question.
I thought a lot about 4 characters specifically. The other 2, well, 3, I'm still trying to figure out. But Harker's parents play a big role in the book. Mr. and Mrs. Drake. I have in my head Benedict Cumberbatch for Mr. Drake. I don't know
Oh.
why. But especially because I describe Finnegan Drake is his full name, Mr. Drake, as like a tall, red-haired man.
Yeah.
And his name's Finnegan, so I'm like, well, clearly he's Irish in some way. And I don't think Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, how come no one can say his name?
I know.
Benedict Cumberbatch is Irish in any way.
Oh, but he is so versatile of an actor, so it's all good.
Right. I was just and alongside I have Lucy Liu as playing Harker's mother, Mrs. Drake. I don't know why. I have always immediately latched on to her as like when I write.
Wow.
I envision Lucy Liu, and she's age appropriate, so it's perfect.
Well, and she's a badass. Let's just say that right out of the box.
And Mrs. Drake gets pretty dicey at some point. She's very unreliable.
Wow, that's perfect.
And my main people, Harker, I've always had an issue with picking because he was inspired visually by this teenage boy who works at a pizza place right by my bakery.
Yeah. Yes. Give him his first movie break. There you go.
Right? He would probably adore it. I don't know him very well. I've only ordered pizza from him, and he's a boy and 17, I think, and so he just looks bored all the time, and that inspired Harker's inability to deal with emotion, was just watching this 17-year-old boy through a lunch rush not have any emotion on his face.
Yeah.
At all.
Dang. Makes you wonder what the hell's going on in that brain then.
Oh, I think his parents owned a pizza place, to be honest. I think he's just like, this is what life is.
Like, damn it, this cannot be my life, right?
If I had to pick a famous person, I do often compare Harker to Tim Henson, the main guitar player in Polyphia.
Ooh, good choice.
He's also half Chinese, and Lucy Liu is Han's Chinese. So I'm like, well, that would be perfect.
Yeah, good choice.
And then Ellie, I always saw as Hunter Schafer. Ellie's look was very inspired by Hunter Schafer. Just the pale blonde, like the eccentric, like facial expressions. It was every time I write Ellie, even though she's supposed to be me, I always envision Hunter Schafer instead.
Right? Oh, damn. Those are some good choices, girlfriend.
And when I manifest my HBO miniseries, I hope they all agree to these roles.
Yes, please. Okay, there's the other shout out there. All right.
More shout outs, yeah.
Well, not only that, out to the universe. Hello, universe.
Exactly. HBO miniseries.
All right, noise or silence for writing?
Silence.
Okay. The noise is for the inspiration, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Silence has to be, I talk out loud, I yell at myself, I clank on the keyboards, and those are really the only sounds you hear.
my husband knows when I'm writing because I'm in here arguing with myself or talking to myself in the I do the dialogue out loud, you got to make sure it sounds natural.
Exactly. You got to read it out loud to hear to make sure it sounds correct.
Yeah.
Because everything sounds correct in your head most of the time.
It does, but until you hear it out loud, you're like, oh, shit, wait, okay.
Then I learned my computer can read it back to me. And I was like...
Right.
Sure, it sounds a little robot-y, but it's fine because I can hear it.
Yeah, that's true.
From the robot lady's voice.
And I don't know how new that is, but, that's something else that I've seen on Twitter. Everybody's like, oh, have your computer read it back to you. And I'm like, what?
I found it by accident. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then I opened up my Word program one day and it said, have the computer read back your work. And I'm like, you've been watching Twitter, haven't you?
Been listening.
Spy. You spy. No.
I've just given up and trying to prevent it too.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite questions to ask because it sounds dirty but isn't dirty. Do you Google yourself?
No. Interpret that as you will.
All right.
But I'm afraid to, especially because the last time I did was a few months ago, and pictures of me where I work were on there because of the company website, and I didn't know that.
Oh.
And I knew that I got pictures taken for the company website, but I never looked at them, and then I saw them, and I went, oh my. And I ignore them now and pretend I don't really look like that.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Nobody likes their picture, I swear.
I'm in my chef coat. I'm like covered in stuff. There's flour everywhere, and I'm just awkwardly smiling. Like,
flour and dough and sprinkles are involved. It's a
lots
mess.
of chocolate.
Hey,
I'm
maybe
not a
somebody
here, but it's around.
But maybe somebody likes that. You don't know.
That's true. I suppose. You could come buy cupcakes from me, and I'll sign your bed.
Right. Yeah, there you go. That'll get your local promotion going.
I'll tell my boss, don't let anybody get my signature without buying something first.
Yes. Show me the receipt. I want the receipt. Okay, here, I'll sign your book. All right, go. Get out. Get lost.
Sign your cupcake in icing.
Ooh, that'd be
The
interesting.
picture of my book on a cake.
Yes. I don't know. If they get your signature on a cupcake, they might just, seal it in a box to preserve it forever. Who knows?
McDonald's hamburger, it will last millennia.
Right?
Back to McDonald's.
All right, so any writing rituals? What do you do to prepare yourself when you sit your ass in your chair and start tapping away at those keys?
Other than the 1,000 words I force out of me that could last anywhere between an hour to 5 hours, I have to have a mug of tea. Always.
Oh,
A
yeah.
mug of tea. And I won't write unless I'm in comfy clothes because I sit in so many different weird positions and I move about my house.
Yes.
Like
Right.
either I'm like cross-legged on my bed, or I'm always sitting cross-legged at my kitchen table in the chair, like at my desk.
Yep.
I'm always like weirdly positioned, hunched over.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way. And then I'm like, after a while, I'm hurting and I'm going, oh, maybe I should change my position.
I always do time stretches to relieve all of the tension I built up.
Right. Yeah, every now and then I get up, I got to stretch because it's like, damn, okay, get this stress out. All right, that was intense. Yes.
How did I end pretzel? I was writing a love scene.
Right. All right, girlfriend. So who inspired you to write? You were 10 when you
I
were
was
writing?
10. People were mean. And my best friend always inspires me to write. She always talks about different books she's getting. She goes to like those. We have one in my town at a big barn where people donate all their books throughout the year, and then one day they do like 25 to 50 cent like book drives, and you can bring a bag and pay $5 if you can fill up your whole bag with books, and then all the money goes to like, I feel like there's like the Hunterdon County Library. That's what it is.
Oh, right,
And
right.
help keep programs at the library, and it's all fun. And she always tells me about all the stuff she gets, and I'm like, I want someone to buy my book for 50 cents at a library book drive one day.
There you go.
Realistic goals.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. That means you made it, man. If your book
My favorite is all of the hardcover Stephen Kings I find. I love to collect first edition hardcover Stephen Kings, and
Yes.
I've never actually purchased one new other than Fairy Tales that just came out. Shout out Stephen King.
Yeah.
And all the old ones I've collected through Goodwill, book drives. It's the best. There's sometimes notes in them, sometimes bookmarks that you get for free.
Yeah. They always come with a
Receipts from where
bonus.
they bought it because they never read it. Same difference, bookmark, whatever.
That's right. There's always a bonus when you buy a used book. I love it. Oh man, Stephen King, he was the bomb for me.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Big inspiration.
If he ever listens to this, Pet Sematary scared the shit out of me in high school. Thank you very much.
I saw the movie of that before I read the book because
Oh.
I was born in 1982, and I saw the movie when I was way too young to watch it with my dad, and that was my first taste of Stephen King, and I to this day adore that movie. Victor is still my favorite creepy boy,
Yeah.
and I blame Stephen King for my obsession with weird stuff.
Yeah. I kind of do too. But I think he's cool with it, you know?
Oh, I feel like he would be like, yes, I did. Thank you very much.
Well, damn right I'm in your nightmares. Oh, man. Yeah, I lived across the street from a cemetery at one point, and they had a pet cemetery specific in the back. And I hated it because I was driving to work one day and somebody left for lunch, I think, but they left the casket hanging over the grave. It was a windy day, and it's swinging, and my imagination just exploded all over my windshield. It was like, oh God, somebody's coming out of that.
No, thank you.
I need
Oddly
to move.
enough, I studied mortuary science for over a year.
Oh wow.
And Learned a lot about funeral service during that.
Oh.
And it was very peculiar because one of my biggest fears in the world that doesn't make sense is zombies.
Right. I get
I
that.
learned how to defeat them at the source.
What is that meme out there? It says that if we have a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to go to the cemetery and play the best game of whack-a-mole ever. That's
Bring a
it.
pitchfork, a shovel, and a flamethrower.
Yes.
I don't know why. I'm just so terrified of the idea of somebody I know that I already became at peace with the fact that they died just showing back up trying to kill me.
Right.
I just can't. Mortified.
Yes. No. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Everybody's like, why do you hate zombies so much? I'm like, dude, I have my reasons. But the biggest one that I don't ever tell anybody until now is that they fucking scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, they really do. They don't look great.
No.
How about that?
No.
Just that alone.
And I hate the fact that there's a movie out there where a girl falls in love with one and turns him back to human. It's like, no. Oh, God, dear Lord, no.
Warm bodies.
Yeah.
I read I read half the book. Oof. I love Disney Channel original movies, Zombies 1 through 3. Another shout out. I loved all of them because they were so hokey and super duper for children. It was so cute.
Yeah.
Highly recommend them.
I think the only zombie I really love is, what's his face, Billy in Hocus Pocus.
He gets a pass.
He does. He gets a pass. Because, and don't take this the wrong way, it's not necrophilia, but he's cute for a zombie, okay? He's cute for a dead guy. And you can tell.
Just finding him cute doesn't make it necrophilia.
Okay, good. Yeah. This is not how your mom wanted you to find a boyfriend.
Have you tried looking at the buildings that have alive people in them?
Right, yeah. There's places to go. I mean, use Tinder.
Do people still go to the mall?
I don't know. I haven't been to a mall since I was a teenager and I'm dating myself. Good Lord. Very big in the mall in the 80s.
I make a lot of 80s references in my movie. I'm ahead of myself.
You
My
are.
book.
That's good. That's awesome. And I'll probably know every single one of them.
Especially John Cusack. That's Harker's favorite actor. I make a lot of John Cusack movie references.
Oh, John Cusack is a cutie, though. Oh, my God. Better Off Dead?
That's Harker's favorite movie.
Yes. Oh,
which,
my God.
is perfect for the title of my book, which is why
Right.
I went with that one.
One Crazy Summer. Anything John Cusack has been in, I will watch.
Point Blank.
Yes. Oh,
Perfect.
he's just a cutie. His whole, I mean, even his sister.
Was.
Right? But his sisters.
We'll go back and forth with the is and the was.
Anyone with the name Cusack, it's like they all look alike and they're just so stinking cute. How did that happen?
Isn't his sister in all of his movies too?
Joan Cusack, I think so. Or at least some of them.
She's always around.
She's always around, yep.
She cracks me up.
And when I was watching the original Charmed, I don't know how that Cusack is related. I don't know if she's a sister or a cousin. And I can't remember her first name.
They're probably all hanging out.
I know. But they all look alike and I love it. They're just so cute. I love John Cusack. I'm right there
Adorable.
with you. We could just do a whole podcast about, Stephen King.
John Cusack podcast.
John Cusack, right. So other than Stephen King, who's your favorite author? Or your favorite book?
I have written down that Stephen King is in his own league.
Yes, always.
But my favorite Stephen King book is Needful Things.
Oh.
My favorite book in general, oddly enough, is a book called Nightshade by John Saul.
Oh,
He's like, I don't know how to describe John Saul. I've never really met anybody else that knows who he is.
I know who he is, but I have never read Nightshade.
Oh, it's so good. It's from the perspective of a 15-year-old boy who just smells this scent while on vacation that reminds him of, I believe it's his dead grandmother.
Oh.
And a lot of this weird ass imagery and mystery murder type stuff happens on this trip that he's on. It's just, I fell in love with it when I was I think that book came out when I was 17 or 18.
Wow.
Maybe it came out earlier and I just read it when I was 17 or 18, but
yeah,
I don't know why. I've always told everybody forever that's my favorite book.
Yeah, that's good.
Signed copy. I was very happy about it.
Oh, yeah, it's nice to get signed copies of stuff. I read J.A. Jance, only because
That name sounds familiar.
yeah, she's a mystery writer, and she sets her stories in Arizona, which is, I'm from Tucson, so a lot
Okay.
a lot of the imagery she has in there, I'm like, oh, hell, I know where that place is. I know where every place is in Arizona. And I got a signed copy of one of her books, too. It was pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
I hope somebody wants a signed copy of my book one day.
I want a signed copy of your book.
Oh, dreams do come true. Look how fast that happened.
I know. Well, I told you that on Twitter, yeah. Goofy.
Did you? Am I just like stupid and I missed that part?
It was during your giveaway. I was like, I want a signed copy of your book. Yes, absolutely.
I did mail out those giveaway prizes. I really hope they made it to those people.
Okay.
But I absolutely can send you a signed copy of my book.
That would be awesome. I would love one.
Yeah, just message me where to send it, and I'm going to the post office on either tomorrow or Tuesday to do a big drop-off, and I can put one in the mail for you.
Woohoo! Thank you.
I like to use gold metallic Sharpie because I'm extra.
That's all right. I'll take it. That's awesome. Ah, thank you so much. I'm so excited now. Woohoo! I can't wait to read it. Especially if there's 80s references in there. I mean, come on. That's my jam.
There's a very big balance of random 80s references and present day references because it takes place in 2022.
Awesome. That works. That works.
Breakfast Club references. There's a lot going on, and you'll find out why. Harker, read it.
Okay, very cool. Well, Sam, I want to thank you so much for being on my podcast. This has been a blast. You're definitely one of my besties now.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. I've never had a Twitter bestie before. This is wonderful.
I know, this is awesome.
I just have all of these people asking me questions in the ether of the internet world. I'm like, who are you people?
I know, right? Well, it's cool when you get to talk to them like this. I mean, I have friends on the East Coast that I have to go visit one day, and if I do, you're going to be one of them because I want to see you.
We have to do like a big meetup.
I know.
At a mall.
At a mall. I'll make sure I wear some 80s iconic stuff. There you go.
I have leg warmers. I can put them on even if it's summertime.
Get your hair up like 5 feet from your scalp,
I wear a lot of patterned leggings. I give off big Kimmy Gibbler vibes.
There you go. Oh, don't forget the shoulder pads. Shoulder pads. That's so you don't hurt yourself when you're like talking with your head.
Ignore my shoulder pads and my scrunchie. I'm here for a meeting.
Like, oh my God. Oh, this has been a blast, Sam. I just thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And everybody stay tuned because there's some promos at the end. Now, if you like this podcast, either the information, the snark, or the sass, help promote it. Like, share, subscribe. You know the drill, guys. Come on. You can also buy me a coffee, a very big coffee, because your girl needs it over here. This takes a lot of time and energy. And I'll give you a shout out as thanks for your support.